Hey guys, Scott here. Happy Halloween! So this is certainly my favorite time of year, just when it starts to get a bit colder and the snow starts rolling in. I've always loved it, so I'm always just a bit happier once winter starts to roll around. So anyway, in this video, I'm going to give you my top 5 bass VST instruments to use for metal. Having extensively used bass VSTs in the past and reviewing quite a number of them here on my channel, I thought I'd go ahead and give them a personal ranking. As I've done reviews for each product individually, I will mostly focus on why I've ranked them the way that I have. Now, please understand it's just a personal ranking, my opinion, okay? That's it. And before we begin, I do want to touch about Trillion. So, why isn't, for example, Spectrasonic's Trillion not in this list? Well, honestly, it's $300, and I don't really see the reason to buy it. In metal, the dynamics we are generally using, they're generally basic, and we're pretty much crushing our bass as much as we can. I don't see or particularly need the level of detail that Trillion goes into. The $300 price tag, in my opinion, doesn't give a good cost to benefit ratio, especially considering when you learn the basics of bass guitar processing, you literally get the same result because we crush our bass to death in metal anyway. Now, because all of the following instruments will actually require a full version of Contact, somebody might say, well, Scott, you have to buy Contact 5 anyway, which is basically $300, so in the end, Trillion would be cheaper. Well, to that I would say, alright, you have a point, but you pay $300 for one product. Whereas with Contact 5, you get gigabytes upon gigabytes of very useful instruments and products bundled with Contact 5, and plus now, your world is open to all the third-party libraries that use Contact. So, which do you think is more valuable? So getting started, we have the Gent Bass ERG by Liquid Noise Studio. This is a no-nonsense, no-frills bass instrument that literally comes the way you see it here right now. No articulations, no key switch editing, just a DI signal for you to play with. This bass is an ultra-low tuned bass. You can go as low as C0. So if you're into those ultra-low tunings or you're using an 8-string guitar, Gent Bass ERG is probably going to be the bass instrument you're looking for. I really don't have a lot to say because there's really nothing else to this instrument. What you see is what you get. So if I could summarize the instrument, I would say it's simple to use. It's a raw DI file, so you can process it however you want. You can use it for any genre, and right now it's priced on sale at $39, so it's very affordable. Two things that I think you should know about the product though is it does lack all and any articulations, so no slides, no bends, none of that stuff. And there is a particular hissing or noise problem when you start to compress and crush the bass a little bit. It's not obvious in a mix, but when you solo and listen to it, it is pretty noticeable, for example, when you have very long notes and stuff like that. Anyway, I've done a really in-depth review about this, so you can go check it out right here. Next up, we got the Texas Grind Alchemist Grind by Corey Brunemann. So this is the little brother of the Metal Bass Bass from Corey Brunemann, and this product came out well before the Metal Bass Bass one did. And this was the first bass VST that I used pretty much extensively, for years. It comes with a DI signal, and it has a few pre-processed tones as well. I have a lot of nostalgia when I talk about this product because, I used it for so long. My technique particularly was to take the low end of the DI signal and then basically blend it with the SansAmp preset. This bass VST also has various articulations that are enabled via key switching. The overall quality is high, and I got a lot of mileage out of this bass VST. A few things that really you should know though is, first of all, there's no manual, so I would suggest you go to my bass programming video with the Texas Grind where I teach you all the articulations and how to do key switch editing. I had to figure all that out myself. And second of all, the Corey Clean bass instrument is bugged and it will not be fixed. I know it won't be fixed because I spoke directly to Corey about this, and he said the guy that did the scripting originally is nowhere to be found, therefore there will be no updates. So when you get the Alchemist Grind Pack, just know that one of the bass instruments is pretty much not usable, so keep that in mind. Anyway, aside from the programming video that I did, I also made an in-depth review about this, so you can check that one out right here. Surprise, surprise, or maybe not really. At number 3, we have the Metal Bass Bass by Corey Brunemann. This was my bass VST, my go-to after I stopped using Texas Grind, and I personally consider this the direct update to Texas Grind. Now, the reason why I really liked this one so much and why I believe it was so popular for such a long time was, as far as I'm aware, and I think Corey knew this at the time, it was the first Bass VST to have the dark glass DI pre-processing bundled with the DI signal. The dark glass DI was a favorite of mine, and I really enjoyed the extra process signals that came with it, and I did a lot of blending, experimentation to see what kind of tones and things that I could get. The big addition to this product, though, which makes it a huge upgrade from the Texas Grind, was there was an included alternate picking script where you could lengthen or shorten the amount of time between each pick stroke, and this really made the bass sound a lot more like a real person was playing it. The Metal Bass Bass also has key switch articulation editing, just like Texas Grind. However, unlike the Texas Grind, thankfully all the instruments work correctly. There are no bugs, at least that I found. However, there is no manual, so you won't have any extra information about the product. You can do the same thing that you're doing with the Texas Grind by going to watch my programming video, etc., so you can skip the frustration of having to figure out which articulation is which and which key switch does what. It is a bit of an annoying thing, but the VST overall is good, and I think, the alternate picking script, all the pre-processed instruments, and being recorded through a high-quality chain, I guess I can get over it not having a manual. Anyway, to learn more about it, again, did a really in-depth video about it, so you can check that out right here. Next, we have Panda Bass by, yeah, you guessed it, Panda Sound. So these dudes come from Russia and Ukraine. I really like this product because it got away from having to change articulations with key switches, which I consider to be very time-consuming and kind of annoying, actually. So instead of key switches, you actually will edit your articulations by velocity levels. So by velocity editing, I mean, it's way faster and more convenient, in my opinion. The bass also has a wide range starting from C0, so you can go really low. You have a pretty decent note range. It's got multiple samples for each note and articulation, and it was recently updated with an alternate picking script, which makes the bass sound a lot more realistic. It's sort of similar to how the Metal Bass Bass has the alternate picking script, makes it more humanistic sounding. Same deal with the Panda Bass here. Now, the Panda Bass is a DI only product, okay? So if you're looking for more options or you wanted more pre-processed tones and so on and so forth, Panda Bass only has a DI. However, because it's only DI, you have 100% freedom to process the DI signal any way you want. So if you're looking to do something like that, where you want just a high quality DI and you just want to process it the way you want, Panda Bass would be a good choice. Now, Panda Bass is the first Bass VST here to have a manual, which is great because all the information that you see on the store page is in the manual, so you don't need your internet. You don't need to open up Google Chrome if you forget how to or which velocity does what. Just crack open the manual and you're good to go. One thing, though, that you will see in my in-depth review is I did find a number of quirks with the articulations. They're nothing major, but they do exist. As I say, I talk about it more in my in-depth review, which you can watch right over here, right here. Yep, right. Nope. Yeah, right here. So that brings us to number 1, which is Bass of the Gods by Spartan Sound Studios. When I first stumbled upon the store page for Bass of the Gods, I was in absolute shock. And it wasn't because they had come up with some new insane alternate picking script or had this unique amazing feature. It was actually just the fact that they took the time to make so many different types of processed bass instruments. Off the top of my head, if I remember correctly, there's 13 different process signals, including the DI. So overall, there's 14 bass instruments. So, I mean, for example, do you like Sans amp? Well, there's 3 different types of Sans amp bass instruments that they processed. What about Dark Glass? That's there too, plus a bunch of others. There's also a full articulation list, which you control velocity, and the pitch wheel, which I'm super happy about. I love velocity editing. You can also actually use 2 other types of instruments for each bass instrument if you want to bypass some of the functionality, if you don't need articulations and so on. I mean, for them to call it Bass of the Gods, it really needed to be awesome, and it is. That's why it's my go-to VST instrument, and that's why I consider it to be, the best or number 1, whatever. If I could talk about a downside, I suppose the biggest downside, I mean, I don't know if you could call it that, is the price. It normally goes for $80, but it's actually currently on sale for $59. However, I do have a 20% off coupon. that I share in my video, in my video review that I did, and you can get this entire thing for $47 actually. The thing about the coupon is it ends after today, October 31st, 2016. So if you want this, you kind of have to go today, right now, to go there. But I really suggest you checking out my in-depth video where I go through it, you know, point by point with a demo, and you can watch that video right over here in wherever I decide to put the icon right here. Hopefully nothing cool is happening in the game because then it'll be all covered up, but just, you know, click this little rectangular thingy-majiggy right here. Did you click it? How about now? Did you click it? Dude, why haven't you clicked it? Alright, that's it for this one, guys. Listen, I just remembered this. I want to make a quick note to the newer subscribers and all the faithful old subscribers. The Slain Back from Hell gameplay that I uploaded last week, I think it was last week, that was just a one-off thing. Actually, I thought it was a killer game that had a really great pixel art and music, and I thought it would be awesome to fit into the Halloween theme quite well, which is why I played it, recorded it, and uploaded it. However, I lost quite a number of subs for doing that, so it's clear that you guys don't want to have gameplay in the future, which is fine. But I just wanted to make it clear that this is an audio production channel first and foremost, and I actually had no plans ever of uploading gameplay consistently. I mean, even though this video has gameplay in the background because, well, I mean, come on, gameplay is more interesting than just looking at a blank screen. So, all right, give me a break. So please don't think that I'm turning this into a gaming channel. I'm not. It was just a one-off thing that I thought would have been cool. Dozens of people thought it was not cool. So anyway, if you found the video helpful, please consider a like rating. Subscribe if you haven't already because I got more videos on the way. Thanks a lot. Have a good one.